All right, folks, again, we've been covering, of course, the election results on Tuesday. We saw significant, folks, in terms of making history. Also, it took place in Minneapolis, where Andrea Jenkins became the first black, openly transgendered woman to be elected to local office. The reason I'm saying that, a lot of people would have been talking about a transgender who was elected in Virginia to the House of Delegates. That was not the first to a state office. It was an African-American in Massachusetts in the 1980s. And so joining us right now is Andrea Jenkins. Welcome to NewsOne Now TV 1.
Hey, good morning, Roland. How are you?
Great. So I made that point. I'm going to pull the name up in a second. I made that point because, again, when folks are saying...
Garrison is her name.
Say it again?
Althea Garrison?
Yes, Althea Garrison. So when people are saying, well, the first, well, again, you can't leave out what took place, 20, 30 years ago. And folks are talking about you making history. From your perspective, why is this important?
Well, I really appreciate the opportunity to be here on your show and talk with your viewers. And I appreciate you bringing up Althea Garrison. She actually did blaze the trail, and unfortunately, life wasn't such in America where she could be her full, true, authentic self, and consequently was booted out of the House of Representatives in Massachusetts. But I think it's important because representation matters. I mean, I was just listening in on the discussion that you were having, and if we had more African Americans in the Maryland State House and in legislature, we may be able to begin to break down these white supremacist policies that have been holding our communities back for so long.
When you talk about the issues, when you ran, what did you focus on that you thought really caught fire with folks who elected you to office?
Right. So we focused on, I hear other politicians all around the country, we focused on the exact same issues: police accountability, affordable housing. How do we stem the tide of gentrification in our communities through economic development, creating opportunities for Black and brown people to thrive in our communities and in our cities. And it's interesting because, I don't live in a predominantly African-American district. And so, I had to depend on a lot of votes from white people, but that message came across strong. And as you can tell from our election results, 73% of the vote, it was very well received.
And again, folks, Shelly, go to my iPad, you'll see. So this is a photo. Althea Gibson served a couple of years in the Maryland, Althea Garrison served in the Massachusetts House there. Last question for you, Andrea, moving forward,
Yes.
is it a question of, again, what you just laid out, that it was issues, and also by you saying you're not representing a black area, that what it comes down to is what are the policies one is representing as opposed to the person representing them?
Right. I don't know. I think it goes hand in hand.
And here's why I'm saying that, because what we're seeing is we're also seeing African Americans who are in districts that are not majority black, who are running in districts that, look, you look at Congresswoman Maxine Waters' district, huge Hispanic population there, yet she's still the Congressional Black Caucus. And so the point is, for African Americans, we can run for other offices beyond just black areas.
Absolutely. And that, in my community, it's historically black. It's probably has, it has had a large black population for the city of Minneapolis, but it has never been predominantly black, right? So, representation does matter. There are now 3 African Americans on the city council in Minneapolis with me, and I'm really proud of my colleagues for the accomplishments that they have made. But it is about the policies, and I think people are really ready to take these issues of inequities in access to healthcare, access to housing, access to jobs, the upside down prison industrial complex. I think a broad number of people are ready to really dig in and start to address these issues, and to use the phrase resistance, resist hatred, resist bigotry, resist racism, and resist white supremacy. I mean, 10 years ago, you and I weren't on television using that language, white supremacy, and now it has become...
Oh, I was.
I was.
I was. I got it. Let me ask you this real quick. I got to ask you this real quick. Also, what do you also say to the LGBTQ community when it comes to also understanding that they also cannot ignore black folks in these spaces? We've had these conversations on our show where African Americans who have said, hey, do understand, there are issues that we care about that are separate and distinct from folks who are white, who are LGBTQ, that understand that we want that to be addressed as well.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't think your sexual orientation really has much to do with your ability to understand racism and white supremacy. And so it exists very much within the LGBT community. I do think that African Americans, black folks, people of color stepping up into leadership roles, it gives us an opportunity to really bring those issues to the forefront. Once again, African Americans want to get married, but particularly for transgender people, marriage was not the #1 issue that most folks were concerned about.
Right.
And so we gotta align the priorities of the community, and really, I think, and this is true for the broader society as well as within the LGBT community, when we lift up the most marginalized people in our communities, Roland, everybody benefits from that.
All right.
And so, that's the same message I say to my LGBT brothers and sisters, and the same message that I say to my cisgender white friends who, wanna be allies. Ta-Nehisi Coates said you can't be ally if the fight is about you, right? I'm paraphrasing him, but when you come in thinking and realizing that my struggle is wrapped up in your struggle,
right?
You're not an ally. You're a warrior on the battlefield alongside me.
Andrea Jenkins, we appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Congratulations.
Weekdays on TV One.
I will never lie to you.
Oh, my God.
Roland Martin.
He doesn't want to talk to us. He wants to ignore us.
Uncensored.
Hell no. That ain't gonna cut it, boo.
Unapologetic.
No, that is fundamentally false. You are wrong.
Unfiltered.
He wants an America where we all look alike. He ain't talking about black people.
Unrelenting.
You better go work out, because you got a fight on your hands.
NewsOne Now with Roland Martin. Weekdays at 7 a.m. on TV One.